All right, everyone. So we watched the Snyder Cut. What was it? Friday night?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
sure did.
So that was my entire evening.
Yeah.
It's a good use of time.
It was my entire 11 till 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Yes. Very adequate use of time. And there were some Snyders, I think.
Yes, sir.
It was hard to tell because I was on a iffy connection call and like an iffy connection movie, and like the whole experience is a little hazy for me, but
Yeah. Yeah, we actually got quite a few things correct. Some people more than others.
Yes.
So yeah, this is the follow-up. We're gonna talk about some of the things we got correct and some of the things we didn't, and I don't know, I guess what we thought of the movie as a whole.
Overall, yeah.
Just,
yeah. We want to start with like basic reviews or like going through our cards, like.
I think let's go through the card, and then like as things come up, we'll just talk about them.
It is worth starting in that case with the fact that Jacob won the game. He got his first Snyder before anybody else did.
Yes,
that's true.
Yes,
you win
absolutely the long haul.
I threw out the net and slowly drew it back in with all the fish. You got a good old fish on the line first, but I had the net.
Yeah,
basically. And I won the drinking part because I finished my drink for everyone Snyder. I finished.
Drunk us all under the table.
Everyone else gave up. I kept going.
I only gave up because I ran out of supply.
Oh man.
So
anyway,
I admit my defeat.
Oh, did we mention that we were doing a drinking game?
No, we didn't mention.
No, we didn't.
Cat's out of the bag.
That's in the director's cut of our Snyder bingo video.
That's in the extended.
Do reshoots where we mention that it's a drinking game, and then we edit them back in.
Danny and I were sipping on some Zach's ciders.
Some Zach's ciders.
I was drinking Girls' Night Out. This is brought to you by Girls' Night Out.
Yeah, having a game and like having predictions and stuff to go along with it definitely made the experience better overall.
For sure,
because it was very long, and I don't think I would have been as excited for like very trivial things to happen in the movie as I was when we had like predictions going and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
It gives you more of a reason to kind of like pay attention because it's like, oh, like I could win something.
Yeah.
I think what we did was we created a really fun atmosphere for ourselves by which to better enjoy this movie. Mm-hmm. And I'll just say I was very pleasantly surprised by this.
Yeah, me too. I think it was.
Yeah. It's a far superior version. Mm-hmm. Which I was surprised by.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna hate it completely. Yeah. I thought I was gonna. I thought. No, go ahead.
Like the last half hour of the movie, I was expecting that, but like for the whole movie, where it was like kind of messy and didn't have anything to do with anything else.
Yeah.
I just expected that for the whole thing because I've seen Batman v Superman. I've seen the Ultimate Edition of it, and it's like, oh, the Ultimate Edition is like. Yeah, you like fix some stuff, but it's still like a mess.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly.
Still left in so many unnecessary scenes, and so that's what when you give me a 4-hour runtime with this guy's track record for this kind of movie, that's what my brain immediately goes to. It's like, oh, there's going to be all these extra weird dream scenes and setups and things, but it's like this movie actually spent most of the extra time just character development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah,
and a couple more scenes with the Amazons, but mostly just character development, which was really nice.
Yeah, yeah. When I first heard of it, I first thought was, oh no, it's gonna be a 4-hour Batman v Superman, which is just a nightmare. Like just
that movie really has problems, doesn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. It's so much. And that's the other thing is I thought it would be a worse version of Justice League, but it was also like I think it's better than Batman v Superman and maybe even Man of Steel.
It is. I could say it is because it gives characters actual, actual motivation, actual arcs, setups, and payoffs. Man of Steel and Batman v Superman don't have either. They don't have character stuff really. It's mostly just plot.
Yeah.
Both movies are kind of just like things happen.
Yeah, there's
and
a lot
that's the story for both.
It's very interesting to me as well, like how well the character stuff works here, where it so blatantly doesn't work in the previous two Zack movies. Like the complete misinterpretation of the Superman character in Man of Steel, followed by the mess of Batman v Superman. It's like, no, this is solid. The characters feel like the characters, which feels great. It feels good.
Yeah.
I would argue that Man of Steel is the best structurally. Like when I think about the three movies, the one that's most like a movie is Man of Steel, because it's the length of a movie and it has the structure of a movie. Like it's like the character stuff, it kind of fails a bit. So it's like I don't know, if there were it's like a crappy costume that you know what it's supposed to be, but it's not that. But it's like, honestly, if I had to pick one to watch right now, I would pick Man of Steel because it's the shortest. But like, I kid you not. Like
it's like a sandwich. Like it has the structure of a sandwich, but you take out all the meat.
It's like a grilled cheese that you forgot to fry. Like,
It has the like from a visually, if you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, it's like a sandwich. It's like it's just a sandwich.
It does everything.
When you open it up, you're like, oh. Wait.
Right, but that's the thing, is that you actually, I don't know, it takes you a while to kind of think about it though. Like, with Batman v Superman, like right away, you're like, oh, this is bad, and like Justice League, you're like right away, this is slow. Like,
Yeah.
There is no denying the pace, and I will say that the pace didn't bother me, and I don't know whether that was the excitement of like watching with you guys and the environment we created, or whether I actually just don't care about long run times. But I think also part of it is that mostly the film's engaging throughout its runtime. For me personally, I think there were I kept a counter of the number of times, like the number of scenes I was bored in during the film, and it was five moments of time in the film where I was like, this could be cut.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's pretty good for a 4-hour movie.
Yeah, and I'm not talking long sequences. I'm talking like, little bits that could be cut.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, there was a while at the beginning where I'm like, is this literally longer just because there's more slow motion?
That's true.
Yeah, a lot of scenes that have slow motion.
I feel like every scene was slow motion for the first 2 hours.
Yeah, and most of those probably didn't need to have slow motion in them at all.
Yeah, it starts off kind of a bit. The pacing's a bit not great, but then once you introduce Cyborg and Flash, then things get much more interesting, because that's when they start developing those two characters specifically. Mm-hmm. And then pretty much every scene that isn't an action scene is just developing character, which I think is why it works. Mm-hmm. For past a certain point, because I think it starts off kind of like scenes that were already in the original theatrical cut but are just longer.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. There's a much better there's a much healthier ratio of development to action in the latter half of the movie than the first half. The first half is very much development. If they just released the first half of the movie, you'd be like, well, that was shit. No one would like it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. It's all set up.
Want to do the cards?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do the cards.
All right. Should we start with the biggest loser or the biggest winner? Maybe we'll start with the biggest loser, work our way up.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I guess me. I got 8.
You got 8? I think I have less than that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I got 9. So Dan, how about you start and then I'll go next.
Right. And then... Yeah, mine are the ones I got are well, yeah. I went for big swings and mostly had big misses. I got close on a couple things, but not really. Like the one like we were talking about, there was some debate over whether Wonder Woman snapped somebody's neck or not. She definitely killed a bunch of people in that one scene.
Huge number of people.
A man into a
But
hat.
you didn't. What?
She turned a man into a top hat.
Yeah.
She turned him into
Like in a cartoon.
Yeah. Someone literally exploded.
Yeah.
But there was no like her physically grabbing a person's head and snapping their neck,
Or like lassoing around their head.
Yeah, or doing that. I got so the points I did get were like Cyborg didn't say booyah, but he did say you should probably move. There was a pointless dream sequence, but we only got that at the very, very end of the movie, which was surprising. I was right about Darkseid being in the movie less than 10 minutes. From my count, he was in the movie about 9 minutes and 45 seconds. So I nearly didn't get that point, but I did. Almost nothing happened for the first 2.5 hours. So if you like stretch it a little bit for that, I get a point there. Cyborg hacked into a mainframe at one point. And then the one that I did get, which was a huge win for me, is that Mara bloodbended in the movie, and I was very excited by that because it was such a weird and specific guess, but I totally got it, and it happened.
It did.
And I was very hyped when that scene took place. I call it a win overall, even though I got the least amount of points for having one that was very like weird and specific, and it actually came true.
Yeah,
that's good enough for me. And that's about it. The rest were like too weird and out there for that. Were other like big specific death guesses, like Flash will run fast enough to cut somebody in half and weird things like that that just didn't end up happening. So.
Well, technically, he did run fast enough to do that, but he did not perform that action.
He didn't do it intentionally. Okay,
yes, that was my card basically.
Awesome.
All right, I guess I'll move on to mine. Oh, there's one I have to ask you about.
Yeah.
There was a song that was in Batman v Superman, and then they recycled it for Wonder Woman 84. Got lazy. Did they use the same musical score in this? Because I thought I heard it at one point, but I wasn't sure.
When did you think you heard it?
I don't remember. See, the experience is very hazy for me. Probably near the end of the movie at some point.
Right.
Or like it had some, I don't know. The song's kind of got death vibes, so like I don't know.
I forgot you had that as a guess. I definitely heard a lot of the same music from Wonder Woman, Batman v Superman, and Man of Steel, so it's very possible that it was in somewhere, and I totally.
So it wouldn't have given me a Snyder, so it's not a huge deal. It's just one that I thought I would mention.
I'll look it up and find out.
And then what is it? We have just some more basic stuff, but I still thought was funny. Like a Quicksilver style Flash scene. Yeah. Because it's there's like everything's floating, and of course he's gonna grab the food, and like it's just like I've seen this before. There's a Wonder Woman feminist / girl power moment. There are a few in the movie, but the one I marked it off at was when there's a girl and she tells her that she can be anything.
Yeah. After he literally murdered a guy by exploding him.
Yeah. She turns a man into a top hat and tells a little girl she can be anything she wants or something like that.
Yeah.
I half expected to start like making out with another girl or something. Like additional dream sequence, it's obvious. My center square was the movie is too long. And I stick by that. I think the movie
I think it was still too long.
There's definitely
better
and there's
overall.
definitely a 3-hour cut of the movie in there somewhere that I would much rather watch. That's keeps all the good character development stuff. Honestly, you just hit like the 1.2 times modifier on some scenes for like speed, and then it'll just be a shorter movie and you won't lose anything. Like that's how I honestly feel about some of the stuff where it's like it goes like over dramatic on everything, where it's like, oh, the Amazonian palace is falling. This is dramatic. Oh, they're shooting an arrow. This is dramatic. Oh, someone's like walking into a room. This is also dramatic. And it just gets too much, in my opinion. Anyways, PS2 level CGI.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Darkseid didn't look great.
No.
But the horses were the worst
Oh, yeah,
offenders for me. Just really bad horses.
Yeah.
There was some additional Pa Kent scene with the wrong message, is what I wrote. But I mean, it was just kind of recycled dialogue from Man of Steel, so I feel like that works.
That's also the wrong, because he learned
the wrong
from that in Man of Steel. That's fair.
Batman kills someone with a gun. There are many points where he used guns on his car, but I was imagining like him picking up a gun and shooting someone, and then he starts doing that to the parademons at the end. Yeah. And so I figured it happened enough times that the square was valid. Over the top biblical imagery, classic Superman Jesus moment. And then my favorite one that I got was all of the Joss jokes are replaced with Snyder sad. Not a single one of Joss Whedon's jokes made it into this cut. Yeah, and I immediately knew that was going to be a thing when Batman didn't ask Aquaman if he talked to fish, and they were just depressed instead. And I'm like, all right, this is it. The movie's sad now.
And that was in one of the first trailers too. So so I think that was even there. I think that was even before Joss Whedon attached the "I hear you talk to fish" line.
Mm-hmm.
No dice on talking to fish.
No. Yeah. So then the things that I didn't get, I swear this was going to happen. This is the one I was most confident about, was a Deus Ex with a new hero. Like, it's like, oh, like the bad guys is going to do the thing, and then like there's a Hawk Mace or a Green Lantern or a Martian Manhunter or someone shows up. And like,
I mean, they kind of did that with Superman.
Yeah, but we
knew he was going to show up at the end. Yeah. But that if it wasn't Superman, if it was someone else, then it would have worked. Like
like Superman's already there. Like maybe Superman's even in trouble.
Yeah,
and then
I thought they might do that with Martian Manhunter, who did show up in the movie. We were also playing with our friend Jasper, and he got a few points, like guessing that Martian Manhunter would show up in the movie. So that was good.
But yeah, I had some very out there ones, some like Thanagarian tie-in, which didn't happen, which is fine. I thought they were going to be in the Lord of the Rings scene. This one, there's another one I was iffy on, is Darkseid's going to have an "I'm inevitable" line. I don't think he does. That's more Steppenwolf's department in this film, when he's like, I'm the bad guy of this movie. Darkseid's like, yes, you are. Enough yapping for me. That was my card.
Amazing.
I guess I'm next up.
Because
I also got 9, but I got a Snyder, so I guess I'm slightly ahead.
Yeah, slightly ahead.
Snyder.
So the ones that I got a Snyder for were a weird post-apocalyptic dream sequence is the future.
Yep.
Which was they're kind of givens. I guess that's why I got them. It's like obvious green screen / reshoot, inappropriate use of licensed music accompanied by slow motion, and bald Mark Zuckerberg Legion of Doom. Those were the ones that got me, and a free space. Right. Those were the ones that got me a Snyder. So.
No, but some of those are still pretty we didn't know if that scene with Mark Zuckerberg was going to stick around.
Yeah, that's true.
Any inappropriate use of licensed music accompanied by slow motion is a very Zack Snyder staple, but it's also like extremely specific. So it's very easily could have gone a different way.
Yeah, I guess so. And then the other ones that I got, the other 4, were Batman shoots someone.
Right.
Unsubtle Superman Jesus symbolism. Weird Jonathan Kent cameo, which is kind of a little bit iffy, because it's sort of just him saying inspirational things. Him and his 2 dead dads saying inspirational, disembodied inspirational quotes to him to get him to be Superman again, which is kind of weird. So I think it kind of counts. And and Flash time travel. That was the other one I got.
Hell yeah.
Totally happened.
Which did happen twice.
Yeah, twice. So there
It
you go.
did.
Which was a good setup and payoff.
Yeah,
moment.
that was actually one thing I really liked
Yeah.
about the movie is there was a scene early on with his dad where his dad says something about you're living in the past, Barry. You got to look towards the future or something like that, and then he literally changes the past and like time travels, altering the future later on in the movie.
Yeah,
that's good like writing. And
Yeah, like it's like the movie like Rule of Three where like you have like the internal emotional setup there. You have the physical setup when he does the mother box thing.
Yeah.
And that was really subtle. Like he doesn't even say like,
it just happened.
I ran fast enough. It just kind of
right?
happens. You just kind of notice it. You're like, is that like actually happening? Like, is he just making time go backwards now? And then at the end, it's like it all comes together. You know, like a movie.
Like a movie.
Yeah, I know, like a story. It's like
oh, that's cool.
It's like what?
And I haven't seen. I'm gonna give the movie extra props for this because of all the seasons of The Flash I've watched, all the uses of Quicksilver and X-Men, and just all these recent examples of like speedster stuff. I mean, I guess Tenet does this, but I've never seen anyone like run backwards through time at super speed.
In that,
like, actively,
right? In that, usually when Barry does it, he runs through like a portal, and then he's in the past. Like I meant in the show.
This is almost like some like Doctor Strange level like.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, it is a cool effect.
There's a really cool because he's like running forwards, but everything's going backwards. So like the ground is
really running back
to his feet and stuff. It's like, oh, that's cool. I wasn't sure what was happening at first. I was like, wait, what is? It's like the Speed Force making him a platform. But then I was like, oh no, it's time reversing, so the ground is reappearing beneath him. That's really cool. That's like a cool effect. I like that.
You just like edit in like like Tenet guy just driving backwards.
They're on the protagonist.
See them run. If you look closely, you can see them running with the ER part in the background.
Look closely, you can see them pushing the family on the truck in the background.
Oh man.
Jacob?
Yeah. Okay. So Flash time traveled, slow motion with licensed song. Added CGI blood to a pre-existing scene.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that.
That happened multiple times.
Yeah.
I got slow motion with licensed song and raining in slow motion in the same scene at the same time.
That was well.
That was early on.
That was very early on. Speed ramping during a fight scene.
Yeah, we got that.
Obvious reshoot and/or green screen.
Yeah, with some wonky green screen for sure.
Terrible CGI. See, I only wrote down terrible CGI, but then afterwards I said, oh, I think that Steppenwolf will be the reason there's terrible CGI. He was ironically one of the better looking parts of the movie. Like, he looked 10 times better than in the theatrical cut. So I was very surprised by that. I leave my word predicting that Steppenwolf would just look terrible, but he looked really good. But there were other parts in the movie that didn't look as good. Fan service for the sake of fan service. This happened multiple times. First of all, the only thing that Martian Manhunter does in this movie is bring up a lot of questions about the previous movies. Like, why weren't you helping? Why didn't you help fight Zod or Doomsday? Superman might have lived if you helped. A lot of innocent people might not have died.
Into Doomsday and then turned solid.
Why are you impersonating a xenophobic soldier?
He hates aliens. It's like the general character that
literally makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
If he was like someone who worked at the Daily Planet, I would be fine with that.
It was like a random guy.
A random citizen. Like that's That's okay. What if it was Jimmy Olsen and he was still alive? Like, you could have done that. The real Jimmy Olsen's in a basement somewhere. I don't care.
It's Lord.
Yeah. Also, the way he's introduced is bizarre.
Yeah, I didn't even realize
undercut an emotional scene
like,
with
why-
the mom.
because
Why does Martha have red eyes?
Yeah, I looked away for a minute, so I didn't even. I was looking at my card or something, so I didn't even realize that was Martha turning into Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how? Why would that Why would that ever happen?
Exactly.
In the movie?
Yeah, it's just like
And it's not even important that he like talks to her. Like,
No, what did he?
Nothing's achieved.
What did
Yeah,
he
it's
say to her?
so nothing.
Well, I'm also sad about Superman being dead, I guess. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't end up helping the final fight or anything.
No.
So
No.
that was just fan service.
Waste.
Yeah. And the other fan service was at the end of the movie, Batman has the tank from The Dark Knight Returns.
Oh yeah, for like a second.
And it has no purpose of being in the movie other than, look, it's the tank from Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, that wasn't even during the like future.
No,
dream
he just
sequence.
had it.
He just
at
had
the
it
end
for whatever.
for 1 second, and that was it. There was no point of it being there other than, look, it's that thing you know.
Yeah.
I feel like Zack Snyder just has this like psychic connection with Frank Miller, where he's like, "Wow, another writer that hates Superman as much as I do."
But Frank Miller likes Batman at least. Well, I'm not sure that Zack Snyder does. What else did you have?
There's no good reason for Jared Leto to be in the movie,
True.
which I guess, he was in the dream sequence and he kind of just said like expedition things, sort of explaining some things.
yeah.
Like Lois is the key.
Right.
That was it, really.
Yeah.
Mentioned Robin.
I was surprised that they addressed the Lois is the key thing at all. I thought they wouldn't. That was one of my predictions. But they kind of did. So
Yeah, they kind of
that's
did.
at least something.
Yeah.
What was the Joker thing about Robin?
He mentioned Boy Wonder. I forget the context of why he brought it up, but I remember he actually said Boy Wonder. So
He was also like, "How does it feel to have someone die in your arms or whatever?" And that's like a very iconic comic panel. Is
Right.
Death in the Family. Yeah.
Death in the Family. Yeah.
the one,
Yes.
the one Jason Todd.
Yes. Mad Max Batman Return.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone gets decapitated. Wonder Woman killed Steppenwolf by chopping his head off.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Which was awesome.
It was great.
And contradicted a space that I didn't get, which is Superman will defeat both Steppenwolf and Darkseid.
Right.
Which I would have done anyway because Darkseid just leaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one defeats him. No one fights him. He's kind of there, and no one fights him.
Seems like if Darkseid was there, he probably would have defeated him pretty easily because Superman is so powerful in this.
Yeah.
Like he beats up Steppenwolf like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It is really it is really gratifying. It for me it works better in the Zack Snyder cut than it did in the theatrical cut. For me in the theatrical cut, it seemed like the Justice League members could fight pretty much on par with Steppenwolf. And they didn't really need Superman. In this one, it was very much like, no, they needed Superman to win. And Superman's much stronger than Steppenwolf, but they did need him in order to win.
Well, Flash also was a big, important help.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, it was both Cyborg and Flash stopping the thing.
Yeah.
So that was like, so it felt like more of them were involved.
Yeah.
Where in the original one, I'm pretty sure Superman just shows up and wins, and then the movie ends.
Superman and Cyborg in the original cut. I think it's just Superman and Cyborg.
Okay. Yeah.
Break the cubes or whatever, and that's it.
Right.
And then they win.
Don't they just rip him apart? Isn't it just?
I think so. Yeah, I think they just rip them from each other, and then they win.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So.
Cyborg is also shown to be very powerful technologically. in this movie.
Yeah, they go much deeper into.
They go
into
way
his
deeper
powers.
into that and his character development.
Yeah,
and motivation.
Yeah, and we even see his origin and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Probably the best stuff in the movie. Is
Yeah,
Cyborg.
I think so.
Yeah.
Other than I guess the Flash, like his stuff and the Flash's stuff, I'd say are the best.
Yeah.
Stuff in the movie.
Yeah, and I will say, I think other people have said this before, but I think that this movie is a step up in terms of like humor for a Zack Snyder movie. Like,
Yeah.
There is technically still jokes. There's not as many as in the Joss Whedon version, but like.
No, but it feels like it fits the Zack Snyder tone.
Right,
While still, like, there are people who tell jokes in a Zack Snyder film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the tone doesn't flip flop back and forth.
Yeah.
Point. It's pretty consistent throughout, which again also helps it feel like a better movie overall.
One director.
One director.
Yeah, one director with a with one style the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you have any other ones?
Setting up something that doesn't pay off. I guess the dream sequence.
Yeah, because that's like they're betting on another movie coming out to like explain all that still, which who knows if we'll ever see that.
Yeah.
And
I'd say even within the movie, Martian Manhunter showing up.
Oh yeah, Martian Manhunter.
exactly.
Well,
you could argue Martian Manhunter as well, because
he just is
like,
there and then he doesn't do anything.
Another hero, is he going to help? No.
Or the whole
he didn't help before. He's not going to help now.
Yeah.
Even the movie even like discounts its own setup and payoff, where it's like Lois is the key, and then it's like, oh, we use Lois to stop Superman. The Batman's like, that wasn't it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nope, there's gonna be more payoff later. This wasn't the real payoff. Like that's like most of like good stuff in this movie. They're like, nope, the real payoff is later. This is still the setup.
Yeah. It's a weird scene to have in an epilogue too, because epilogues are usually to conclude things, not to tell more things.
Yes.
And it doesn't really answer anything or set up much of anything.
It's just a little bit more development of that thing that we've seen a little bit of.
Yeah. It kind of explains the first time we saw a random dream sequence where Batman is Mad Max.
Kind of, but then it's like, oh, it's another dream right after. So it's like, okay, so
is any of this anything?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I guess they're visions.
They're visions of the future, I guess.
It's implied they're visions.
But like, why would Batman?
Why does Batman specifically have them?
Batman doesn't have any powers. Why would he get visions of the future?
Well, it's kind of weird because what they did was they set up that the Flash came back to give him information.
Right. Yeah.
But then he's also having dreams of the future. So like, what is like? Is it that the Flash is coming back, or is it that he's having visions?
Yeah.
Like.
And why?
And like, if it's both, then why?
It would make sense if he interacted with the mother boxes at any point during the movie.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. The only one that does is Cyborg.
Right.
So it'd make more sense for Cyborg
to get visions of the future?
Visions of the future, not Batman.
Yes. That's 100% true.
So,
unless they want to do something weird with like their versions where Batman becomes a servant of Darkseid and sits in like a weird chair, and maybe there's time travel involved with that. Who even the hell knows?
I don't know. Here's the weird thing about Zack Snyder as a director is like, it seems like that's the movie he wants to make, where Batman is Mad Max and it's this dark future where everyone's dead and they just go on a weird, and Superman's evil and Batman has to team up with Deathstroke or whatever. Like, it seems like that's the movie that he wants to make, but instead of just like making that movie, and it's probably like Warner Brothers probably like wasn't letting that happen at the time either.
Yeah.
But instead of just doing that movie, it's like we got to do all this other stuff where they fight Steppenwolf. Yeah. Who cares? And it's like, I don't know. If they ever made another one, I hope that it would be just that. And it's just like, yeah, just make your dumb extremely dark Mad Max future movie.
Yeah.
Instead of like another movie that continues to set up more bullshit forever until eventually one day they kind of address that or whatever. It's like just skip to the end when it's like crazy.
I think you're right. I think that's exactly what he wanted to do. Especially with Batman v Superman. That's what it seems like.
Right.
And then they were like, okay, do Justice League, and if that works out, then you get to make that movie.
Right.
It's that
Justice League didn't work out. That never happened.
That's not. It's probably not going to happen. So.
Unless this makes $1 billion on HBO or whatever, and then who knows? Yeah. But at this current moment, I find it unlikely that will ever lead to anything.
Box office numbers.
I also don't know how that works. It's based on like things or whatever. So
how crazy would it be if a new cut re-release of a movie 3 years later was the thing to revive the franchise? Like,
that would be crazy. It's also
during a pandemic.
Yeah, a pandemic as well. It's also weird too because currently DC's model seems to be whatever we feel like, because we're getting like another Suicide Squad movie. They're doing a Batman movie without Ben Affleck. It's it's Robert Pattinson this time. They're doing a Black Adam movie or whatever with The Rock, setting up a villain. Like, there might be an Aquaman 2 or whatever. So it's just like kind of whatever and all over the place. So I don't know if they're ever gonna like actually connect again.
Also, it's worth pointing out that they decided to make the Wonder Woman sequel set in 1984.
Right.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's like a weird choice.
And there's barely anything in the movie that requires it to be set in 1984.
Yeah.
It could have probably been set today with very little changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
the only point being that that's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any other card squares?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Finish up your
yeah.
Completely off the
obvious
rails.
reshoot and/or green screen. Batman runs over a parademon with the Batmobile. That happened. Darkseid incinerates someone with his lasers.
Yep, we saw that, I think.
Yep. And some ones that I didn't get. I predicted there would be 2 F-bombs.
Oh,
and
yes.
for a very long time, there were only 2 F-bombs. And then at the last few minutes of the movie, there's a 3rd F-bomb. It was so close, but I didn't get that square.
Yeah.
Superhero theme from a different franchise. That didn't happen because in the theatrical cut, there was the John Williams Superman theme and the Danny Elfman Batman theme. Neither of those were in this cut.
Which I think was a good choice.
Yeah, for sure.
Superman doesn't kill anyone in this movie.
No.
Is that true?
I don't think he does.
He doesn't kill a single person.
He's making up for his first outing.
Shit out of Steppenwolf, but then Wonder Woman does the killing.
What like legally does that like count as like assisted murder or
it would be an assisted murder.
But like he doesn't snap anyone's neck or like push somebody through like 6 walls or knock over a building. He didn't do any of that.
Or laser someone.
Or laser someone in half. That was one of mine.
Yeah. Batman kills parademons, but I said Batman kills someone.
Right, meaning like a human,
like a sentient being.
Right.
So was it just Wonder Woman who killed sentient
Yeah, Wonder
beings?
Woman's the only person who killed people.
Yes.
She killed a lot of people too.
She killed a lot of people though, and very violently. So we do at least get that.
Yeah.
There was no mullet for Superman. He didn't have a mullet.
No mullet.
No, disappointed. Fight scene with total disregard for innocent people. There wasn't total disregard.
Yeah, there was the one scene where Wonder Woman killed a bunch of people. She actually remembered to save the hostages as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then the rest of the scenes didn't really have innocent people in them, except for like that one scene in Gotham where they
Under the
actually
river.
save people. They save like Cyborg's dad and stuff. So there you go.
Yeah.
And then the last one was Jim Gordon actually does something, which he
Which
had,
he didn't.
he had the same amount of screen time.
Yeah.
Also,
Which is kinda weird.
Superman is depressed about saving people.
Yeah, he didn't save anyone.
doesn't save
so-
anyone.
He didn't save anyone.
Couldn't be
I had
depressed
that
about
too,
it.
So no,
I had that as well.
He's got more kills than he does saves in this movie.
If you count the Steppenwolf kill, then yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's even.
Yeah, even at 0.
yeah. So that's mine. That's
Yeah.
So that's
Awesome.
Josh left.
I will quickly run through mine.
Oh, how many Snyder did you get?
3 Snyders.
Jeez.
3
Yeah.
Snyders.
Patrick Snyder.
My one. Okay, so the 2 that I got, which basically what I did was I got one straight down the middle, one diagonally across, and one over the top. So the diagonal one started with flashful time travel. Batman is far less friendly with Superman. In the original, he had like a real Superman like hard on. It was like, I feel so bad that he's dead, and I have to bring him back. And in this one, it's just like, no, that's a thing we could do. Let's do it.
Right.
So that I got myself that additional dream sequence. Darkseid kills people with eye lasers, and Steppenwolf will not say mother once. He says mother box, but he does not say mother.
Okay.
So that's my diagonal line like that. Down the middle, I've got mustacheless Superman scene is gone.
Yep.
The final fight is color corrected differently, which was true. Again, additional dream sequence. Over the top hacking sequence with Cyborg that misrepresents hacking.
We got a few of those. So.
We got a couple of those.
One that's quite extensive.
Yeah. I liked the extensive.
It's
like
cool.
The cool
like,
one, but
it's like a weird mind palace thing.
Yeah.
And then the Joker says something profound and/or helpful to Batman.
Yeah,
It happened.
It totally happened.
And then going across the top, Darkseid will kill a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Egregious slow motion. The Joker says something profound and/or helpful to Batman. Martha will be mentioned in some way.
Yep.
She was in the movie.
She was in the movie. Her name.
And once again, Steppenwolf will not say mother once. Other ones that I did get. Iris West is only in the movie for one scene.
Yeah, and I don't think they even say her name, so it's like that could have been anyone, really.
I mean, in theory, it could be anyone.
Yeah, I think we just assumed it was Iris because she's sort of presented as a potential love interest for the Flash, but doesn't come back at any point.
That is true. So in theory, I could have gotten that wrong if it wasn't Iris.
It wasn't one of the Snyders, so know for sure you got the Snyders.
Yeah, I think
it wasn't one of the Snyders.
Yeah, and I think you still get the point for that, for being like that character's only in that one scene. So
one scene, yeah. Lois Lane is key. Came back.
Yeah,
it was not as big a thing as I thought it was going to be, but it is there.
Yep.
What else? I technically gave myself that Lex Luthor was involved somehow. I don't know that he was involved. He shows up.
I remember what happened. I remember what happened. He showed up in the movie, and you were so drunk that you just gave yourself it.
I think that's exactly what happened. Because he definitely wasn't involved in the plot.
Yeah, because he wasn't really involved.
You're like, he's there!
He's there! Yeah, absolutely. And then there was no Superman / Flash scene at the end race. It was replaced with some setup for a future project. Big dream sequence. Last one, vague religious imagery.
Yeah, we got a little bit of that.
Yep.
All of that. The ones I did not get.
No, just the one thing, pretty much, of the Jesus symbolism.
Yeah. Ones I didn't get mostly were to do with cameos.
Right.
I had Zack Snyder, Nightwing, and Constantine cameos, none of which happened.
Right.
We also did not get a Green Lantern in the final fight, which was what I thought that Deus Ex Machina was going to be. The two that I had Steppenwolf will not say mother once, and then Steppenwolf will get a flashback to his mother to explain his obsession.
Unfortunately.
So he did not get the flashback. Joker was not confirmed to be a former Robin. I thought that might happen. And Steppenwolf is killed, then Darkseid shows up as secret final boss.
Yeah.
That also did not happen.
We almost got a version of that, because once his head gets cut off, it lands like right next to Darkseid, and Darkseid crushes it with his foot, which is hilarious. But then he doesn't become the final boss or anything. He just kind of leaves.
So, no, he doesn't like Doomsday this movie. The way Doomsday.
That was pretty egregious, wasn't it? That was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a movie about Superman fighting Batman. And then
Or-
Doomsday.
Yeah. The first like
Yeah.
But
2
even
hours.
if he did in this, he would still have more build-up than Doomsday did.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
Because Darkseid was like referenced very early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Shows up
actually
for
built
the-
him up throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have been more than what we got with Doomsday.
Yep.
I think somebody said like that we had that like flashback scene and he gets like injured, and so I remember somebody saying like, "That's it? Like that's Darkseid? What a pushover!"
I was
Like,
well, yeah, because that scene in the I don't know what it was like originally planned for, but in the theatrical cut, that was just a scene where Steppenwolf tried to invade, and then the Amazons and the Aquamans like fought him off or whatever. But they like fought him off pretty easy. This time it was Darkseid, and they fought him off like pretty easily. And I was like, I feel like the Justice League would be okay if he showed up. Like I feel like they'd be able to take care of him.
yeah. Yeah, he kills the one Green Lantern. You're like, yes, okay. And then a guy with an axe just like gets him, and that's it. And he's like fainting on a.
Ares, the god of war.
Right, I guess.
Is that Ares?
Ares does
I think
show
it's Ares.
is there briefly.
Yeah, because they said that the gods were like friends at that point in time, and that's why it was cool. Because there was a lightning dude, and there was his helmet had like the Ares horns on it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the same actor, so
Yeah,
I
it
just
wasn't,
assumed.
It wasn't Professor Lupin.
I was assuming just I don't know, like
He's
I've
in the
been
trailer. I watched one of the trailers, and there's a shot of Lupin's face like
Really?
CGI'd onto someone else's body.
Wait, which trailer?
It's one of them.
For the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, one of the trailers. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Ares because when I watched that, I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense that the thing that stops Darkseid is a really deep cut from an actual from a god.
Yeah, no, that it makes total sense. It's just
looking for it. I was like,
it goes against the world building stuff I thought was established.
But he is there like briefly, but
yeah, no, that's absolutely fair though. I was taking in what Wonder Woman was saying, what I was seeing, and drawing conclusions.
Yeah,
I think that's the idea. The lightning guy is Zeus, and the other guy is Ares, but
yeah,
they don't spend a whole lot of time on them. Which I thought they would. I thought that scene was longer. That was one of my predictions. It was a little longer than the theatrical cut, but it wasn't like egregiously long or anything. It was
it was all right
for the movie.
It was fun. It wasn't.
I was thinking it was going to be like a half hour.
It was going to be like the Lord of the Rings one,
where it's like really long
it's
and
quite
there's
long.
there's like dialogue scenes and we cast this
door.
fire, destroy
where it becomes
like
a whole scene.
Yeah, where it becomes a whole sequence. It didn't. Really,
it's like a full 20-minute prologue to Fellowship. I'm pretty sure. Like it's
it's
long. Yeah.
In the extended edition, it's
in
good.
the extended edition, it's even longer. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no.
Single door.
Yes,
that's technically later, but whatever. It's still part of that time period.
I feel like it was well used and it was relevant because it's the scene other than the scene at the end that's most like the weird Batman dream scene in Batman v Superman, except this time it's like A, something that actually happened, and B, something that's going to be relevant to the story. So
yeah.
I feel like I give it more points for that, and so it's a much more exciting scene to watch.
Yeah.
Do we mention how Darkseid flat out just murders a Green Lantern?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, you had a point for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah, for that,
like,
yeah.
that was pretty brutal.
Oh yeah, he like chops his hand
brutal.
off
Yeah,
and then like
yeah.
fucking slashes him up. And it was very
Yeah.
bad.
CGI blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever they could throw a little more blood in, they did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah,
No, it's good stuff.
is that all your predictions, Josh? Is that
Yeah, that was it. I raced right through them.
Cool?
Okay. Any closing thoughts?
I think that if instead of the Joss Whedon cut being released in theaters, if this was released in theaters, people wouldn't like it as much as they do now because they have something to compare it to.
Something much worse to compare it to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if we didn't have something much worse to compare it to, we didn't have time and hindsight. If this was the first thing that came out, everyone would be like, well, that was okay, and they would move on with their lives.
Yeah,
it was
too long.
that's
too
what
long.
they would say.
Yeah.
You know, but because we have time and hindsight, people love this movie. And I think in about, I don't know, anywhere from 3 months to a year, people will say this movie's okay.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely. It's also, it came out at the perfect time where WandaVision's over, so what else am I going to watch, you know?
that's true.
Yeah.
I agree with you with the caveat that the fact is we deeply appreciated the extra character development. And
Oh, yeah.
I would hope that would be something that people would deeply appreciate, even if it was theatrically released. It's like, well, at least, like, thank God we actually got some freaking time with these people. For once in a goddamn superhero movie, we spent some time with the characters.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There was no time for anything.
No,
it was just like, we got to keep moving.
Lois has to
put her in the water
for like half of the movie.
Yeah. After WandaVision, after this, I would be so happy to see a superhero movie which was character development with a little bit sprinkled in for most of its runtime, and then like a really cool wrap-up action sequence. Like that would make me very happy. I could actually get invested properly.
Yeah. Shazam was good.
Shazam was just that.
Shazam, and that is exactly, actually, that is fair. Shazam was pretty good.
It's just what you described.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess there's not really any like kind of big set pieces like during the middle section of the movie.
Yeah, he like catches a bus, but that's like fun.
Like he fights.
He does fight bad guy at one point.
It's mostly just him running away, but
that's true.
It is a sequence.
No, but it's most of it's just development. So perfect example. Shazam,
good movie. Probably still the best of the DC movies.
I'd say it is.
That's the best. Yeah, Shazam, Wonder Woman. And I don't know, maybe this movie.
And then I guess
this maybe.
I'd say it's slightly better than Aquaman. I'd say it's better than Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman's
better than Aquaman.
Yeah,
messy, and I don't really care about the characters in that.
Yeah.
Aquaman's a great popcorn flick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a fun time, but it's a mess.
There's some cool action scenes in it.
Yeah, there are. There's some bits I genuinely enjoyed.
Yeah.
And it's a reasonable length.
I am the ocean master.
which is awesome.
Oh yeah, Willem Dafoe came back in this movie.
Yeah.
He's in the scene.
He's in like one scene.
He says, Aquaman, remember, if you're ever fighting a bad guy, make sure to twirl your stick really fast.
Twirl the stick.
But he doesn't learn that until Aquaman, so that's why he didn't twirl his stick really fast against Steppenwolf in this movie.
Yeah.
That's why they needed Superman to come back.
You gotta remember that twirly move Aquaman would have taken care of Steppenwolf, no problem.
Here's the thing, though. Now, unless it's a dream, Aquaman's dead. Aquaman in the future is not around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because there's no water around.
He got all dehydrated.
He'd be useless.
Talk about a fish out of water.